This is the new Michelangelo bread maker, a machine that will open a world of possibilities in your bread making journey. You will be delighted to know that it automatically makes many kinds of breads with minimum effort and at the touch of a button, even natural sourdough bread. Michelangelo Kitchenware is a German cookware brand with over 90 years heritage. They are Amazon's bestsellers as well. They sent me this bread maker so I could try it out, and here is my honest review. When you open the box, the bread maker comes with a manual with recipe guides. One measuring cup, one measuring double-sided spoon, one bread hook, one stirring rod, and one removable non-stick pan or bread barrel. The bread maker has a sleek stainless steel design. It is very lightweight and it looks very good on my kitchen counter. The bread maker has 15 settings in the preset menu. To make anything from a simple soft bread to a French bread, multigrain bread, gluten-free bread, natural sourdough bread, cake, yogurt, etc. So, the first thing we have to do to make our first bread, according to the manual, is to wash the bread pan, stirring rod, and the measuring cup and spoon. Once you have done this, place the bread pan or bread barrel inside of the bread maker. Insert the stirring rod and add the ingredients for your bread. For this bread, I use the recipe provided in the manual, which includes 300 grams of water, 45 grams or 3 big spoons of sugar, 6 grams or 1 small spoon of salt, 45 grams or 3 big spoons of vegetable oil, 500 grams or 3 1/8 cups of all-purpose flour. Right now, I am also trying out one of the coolest features of this bread maker. It has a delay timer, which means that you can program it in advance and have the bread ready whenever you want it. Like me, here I am setting up the machine to have fresh bread ready tomorrow morning. Now, I add 1 1/4 teaspoons of dry active yeast. Then, I cover the yeast with more flour so that the yeast doesn't react with the flour until the machine starts the process. Close the lid and now select the preset one. Then select the size. Then select the time. Right now it's 10 p.m. so I will select 9 hours to have fresh bread ready at 7 a.m. The next morning, my bread is ready. So carefully, I take the bread barrel out of the bread maker. And then I place the bread on a cooling rack. The bread comes right out of the pan. After 30 minutes, I slice the bread. And so far, I like what I see. This is a very soft slice of bread, perfect for a toast in the morning and made with minimum effort. But now, let's try making one of my recipes. I'm gonna make a sourdough bread with no dry yeast at all. So for this bread, I use 350 grams of water, 100 grams of sourdough starter at 100% hydration, 450 grams of bread flour, 50 grams of whole wheat flour, and 5 grams of salt. I now select preset number 3 for natural sourdough bread and set the timer to 8 hours and 50 minutes so that my bread is ready for breakfast again at 7 a.m. The next morning, my bread is ready. The bread maker keeps your bread warm for up to 1 hour. So that's also a great advantage. I carefully take out the bread from the bread barrel and place it on a cooling rack to let the bread cool off. After 2 hours, I slice the bread and look at that crumb. I gotta say that I'm really impressed with the beautiful crumb on this sourdough bread that I didn't have to knead or work on it. The bread maker did a good job. Next, I'm gonna try to make a New York style pizza. This will be a pizza with a hybrid dough that uses sourdough starter and dry yeast. This is a great recipe to make pizza in a couple of hours. If you want to get the recipe for this pizza, please click on the top of the screen to watch the video in detail. So, after I place all the ingredients, I select the preset number 12, which is the preset to leaven dough. This means that the bread maker will mix the dough and proof it at an optimal warm temperature for 1 hour, so you can create any bread you like. This opens a world of possibilities, because you can get this bread machine and use it to create any recipe that uses a dough with yeast or natural yeast like sourdough starter. This is how my dough looks at the end of the process. And now, it will still proof at a warm temperature inside of the bread maker for about 1 hour. When my dough is ready, I take it out of the bread barrel. I shape it into 2 balls of dough. Then roll it to make the dough extra thin to have a thin crust pizza. Add sauce, Parmesan cheese, some mozzarella cheese, and cheddar cheese. And then I bake it in the hot oven. My pizza is ready and it's as good as any other pizza I made in the past by hand. If you ask me, I cannot taste any difference at all between this and my previous pizzas, made by hand only. It is delicious. But I still want to try to make a recipe of a more enriched bread to see how the bread maker performs at mixing a more enriched and wet dough. This will be my sourdough cinnamon raisin bread. If you want the full recipe for this bread, please click on the link on the right upper corner of the screen. So after I placed all the ingredients in the bread maker, I use the preset number 12 again for leavened dough. And I let the bread maker do its job. When the dough is fully proofed, I place it in the fridge for 2 hours to cool, and then I shape my bread. This dough looks and feels good, so I stretch it on a counter and I brush the gooey, delicious cinnamon filling on the dough. Then it is time to add the raisins. Finally, I shape the dough and place the dough in the bread barrel. I place the bread barrel back in the bread maker to proof the dough until the dough doubles in size. When the dough is ready, I choose the preset number 14, which is the preset to bake. I set the time to 1 hour and I wait. After 1 hour, the bread is fully baked. I love the fact that the bread maker has this small window where you can see what is going on inside of the bread maker at any moment. The bread comes out of the bread barrel with no effort, and it is almost ready to be sliced. After 30 minutes, I slice the bread and I am ready to enjoy it toasted with a piece of butter and my flat white coffee. This bread maker can really help you to minimize effort and maximize your time in the kitchen. I really recommend this bread maker. It is a great, easy to use, and affordable machine, even if you're not an experienced bread baker. If you want more info about this machine, you can find the links in the description of this video. Remember, like and share this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I have a new video every week. Thank you for watching.